WMBF News investigates for a homeowner facing foreclosure even though he hasn't missed a payment. How did it happen? WMBF News anchor Paula Caruso digs into the facts and has solutions for every homeowner facing trouble.
Steve Sampolo has been protecting lives for most of his. He's an Horry County firefighter and paramedic, but right now he's in the fight of his life to protect his home. Steve Sampolo decided to make Carolina Forest his family's home 4 years ago, leaving behind a fast-paced lifestyle in New York. As a first responder, he was on the front lines during one of our country's worst days.
A couple of my partners died that day. Yeah, it was, terrible. Everybody was affected by it, and that was one of the reasons why we came here.
A few years ago, he had surgery on both wrists for carpal tunnel, a disease that was crippling him on the job. He was out of work for 6 months and started to fall behind on his bills. To get back on track, Sampolo applied for a mortgage modification under a government program. He was approved and was paying his mortgage company, SunTrust, on time for a year.
That plan came out for the modification. It fit us perfect, and we did everything we were supposed to do. We got modified and made 10 payments in a row. Everything was great. We were back on our feet.
But last fall, SunTrust sent him a letter saying they sold his mortgage to a new company and he should start paying them immediately. So he did, but the new company, NationStar, wanted more money.
They just basically kept going on saying, well, we don't know about that modification, but we could help you start a new one.
Sampolo says he faxed his modification papers to NationStar several times, but each time he called to confirm, they said they didn't know what he was talking about. Blake Sloan is a foreclosure expert. He says homeowners need to put the pressure on mortgage companies.
It's very important to call over and over and over, to make sure that you get through and you speak to someone that you can document that you did talk to them and what that result was.
Sloan says mortgage companies sometimes buy thousands of mortgages at a time.
They're so overwhelmed, they're getting hundreds and thousands of packages a day that they're literally just falling through the cracks.
But Sampolo says NationStar took it a step further and sent him a foreclosure notice.
I don't know why they'd want my home because, there's obviously a lot of foreclosed homes and I'm making payments.
You're willing to pay?
Yeah, I was modified. I have 3 children. I told them 2 years ago we planted fruit trees and they're ready to bloom. I said, I don't want to leave.
While Sampolo fights NationStar, Sloan says there are tips every homeowner can take when battling their mortgage company. First, make sure you have every document they require before trying to fax your information. Also, have those documents clearly labeled and put a checklist on the very top. Then keep a log of every single time you contact the company.
What date you sent it? Did you get a confirmation? Who'd you speak to? Did they verify they had the documents?
Sloan says these simple steps can protect you in the fight to keep your home. Another tip from Sloan, make sure you read the fine print on your mortgage. He said some companies may have a clause that says your modification won't transfer if your mortgage is sold. In Sampolo's case, his attorney says since his modification was through a government program and not a bank, NationStar has to acknowledge it. In the studio, I'm Paula Caruso, WMBF News.